I think we're live, Mo. Looks like we're live. I'm getting the thumbs up and it's saying yes. All right, I think we're ready. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to speak with you today and to be here on this call. My name's Stephanie McCauley. I am the CMO and business integrator at Crestwood Associates, and I bring over 20 years of experience in marketing, finance, and operations strategy, helping SMBs build scalable, repeatable business infrastructure. And my passion really lies in empowering empowering businesses like yours with data-driven solutions and sustainable systems. Say that 10 times fast, but I want to do it in a way that helps businesses scale. And it's something that I've seen transform operations across various industries over 2 decades. And so I'm really excited about our session today. With me, I have Mo from SPS Commerce, who's going to be joining us with some topics later in the conversation here today. But I want to make great use of our time today, and I want to start with outlining what we want to achieve in this session. As you can see, today's topic is about stopping profit leaks, so that's what we're going to talk about. Now, we know that distribution moves really fast and margins are getting tighter, and so our focus today is very simple. How do we stop the operational leaks that drain profit, especially around inventory accuracy, EDI complexity, and manual processes that slow your teams down? And so my objective here is to give you a very clear, practical view of what modern connected workflow actually looks like for distributors, especially for those of you who are relying on EDI or have very complex fulfillment requirements. So my goal here, you're going to walk away with an understanding of what's possible with Acumatica and how distributors like our Client Summit brands are reducing errors, increasing things like automation, and unlocking very real-time visibility across every part of their operation. And so let's walk through this agenda real quick. I am going to start with a quick introduction of Crestwood and the role we play in helping distributors modernize their operations. We're heavily invested into distribution, inventory, supply chain, and EDI, and automation. So we won't be speaking about hypotheticals today. This is real stuff that we do every day. And then also I want to talk about those Acumatica ERP Essentials. I'm going to walk through Acumatica from a purely operational viewpoint, what matters most for distributors, real-time inventory, unlimited warehouses, connected workflows, and how platforms remove manual entry and exceptions. So I'm excited about that. Then we're going to get into a real world win, showcasing Summit brands and helping you see how they were dealing with some of those inefficiencies and how we were able to integrate EDI and inventory and reduce inventory and bottlenecks that many of you maybe are facing today. And so Mo will then go into how SPS works with us through Acumatica integration, and you're going to see some of the big wins from SPS Commerce with their EDI solution. Now, stay tuned at the end because we actually are giving away $100 in Visa gift cards. I think we've got a couple winners at the end here that we will be issuing out, so stay tuned. My goal is to walk away today with clarity, whether you're exploring a new ERP, planning for a future upgrade, or just simply trying to get better control of your EDI and inventory processes. So you'll get a blueprint today that you can apply immediately and walk away with regardless of where you're at in your journey. And so speaking of that system journey, I have Chloe behind the scenes today. She's going to do some poll work for us so I can understand where you are in your journey and I can help curate today's session just to make sure that I'm understanding what you're looking for as an audience. So you'll see a poll pop up here, just letting us know where you are in this journey so we can help to curate these topics today. All right, so that's our agenda. So let's get into Crestwood. I think for the most part, we're kind of new to each other here. And so I want to highlight a little bit about Crestwood to set the stage for what we're going to talk about with Acumatica and some of the solutions today. So Crestwood serves as a trusted and award-winning top partner with Microsoft and Acumatica. These partnerships are what enable us to provide reliable and up-to-date solutions that integrate well with your existing systems. And so our team in particular has existed for 26 years, delivering end-to-end ERP solutions. We're not new to the game. It's something we do every day. And this extensive history has actually allowed us to draw on proven approaches for implementation, customization, and long-term optimization. So I'm very proud of that. And one of the things I like to point out is that our team consists of industry-specific experts, many who are CPAs, who are focused on manufacturing, distribution, construction, and professional services, as well as extending our knowledge into areas like retail commerce and general just business financials. And so this allows us to help address sector-specific challenges very effectively. We also maintain a certified in-house of developers for those tailored, unique system needs that you have. And then we also have a personalized customer success team and an in-house support team that are structured specifically to help you get more out of your return of investment going into now and the future. So we stand behind what we call the Crestwood Guarantee. It's our part of our approach of ensuring our client satisfaction. It's all about true experts that work with you, software that works and isn't a headache, and then also no hidden fees. Transparency in what you're going to spend on your software is huge. So what we do best at Crestwood is we deliver that comprehensive ERP solution for you. And as you can see here, we go beyond the basic implementation. I like to say we're not a set it and forget it type of partner. We're going to do end-to-end guidance for you that aligns with your business needs. And so partnering with Crestwood, what that really means is you're getting a dedicated team focused on maximizing value for you at every stage in the process. And so you'll see a whole lot on this page, but just know this is what we are here for, and this is how we best support you. Now, as we build on that ERP expertise, it's important to discuss the technology. And so what we do is we leverage best-in-class platforms like Microsoft and Acumatica, and this is going to apply to our discussion today. At the core, we integrate these ERP solutions and we layer it with things like Microsoft 365. If you're using Outlook and Teams, we help make sure that your ERP and your Office suite is working together. We also are very heavy into cloud stabilization and infrastructure, and we also ensure your security and compliance. And so all of that to say this ecosystem is created specifically for you to help you scale for the future without having to use lots of people to get it done. It's your one-stop shop. Now, based on our experience, we know that you're living in one or more of these categories that I'm showing on the screen, and our goal is to meet you where you are. So you're either in the process of comparing and selecting your software, you're implementing it, or you're using it actively and you need to support or get guidance for it to optimize for the future. And so each of these areas is what we're here for. We aren't going to focus on one area at a time. It could be that you're in multiple areas. And so our goal ultimately is to take you through a really proven process to ensure your implementation success. And we do that in a couple ways. So I mentioned that compare and select software. We're going to take you through an evaluation process to understand your needs. We're going to mock up kind of a step-by-step process to help you quickly identify a solution that fits what you want and not what somebody wants to give you. And so this process really starts with the discovery where we're going to assess your needs and your wants for the future. And then we're going to tailor a demo so that you can see how your business would actually apply these concepts with this software. And then from there, we're going to guide you through your licensing and your contracts and help you get to that really fun session of kickoff so that you can get your software implemented. Now, speaking of that, we do have what we call the Crestwood Way. It's a very time-tested implementation methodology. I'm going to challenge you, if you're speaking with a partner and you're considering implementing software, ask them for their approach. And if they can't line it out somewhere similar to this, make that your red flag that it might not be the right partner. But we use this to show you from start to finish what to expect when it comes to project initiation. We secondly will go through, unlike most partners, we'll go through the education so that you know your software before it even gets implemented. Then we will go through discovery, designing your solution for you, helping you implement it, and then deploying it and getting the most out of it for the future. And so just know that you don't have to remember all of this, but there is an implementation approach, and that's the key to success with ERP implementations. And then finally, once you've implemented, you're going to be set up with a success manager. This is going to be somebody who you can kind of think of this like a concierge service. I like to refer to our customer success managers as sort of my phone a friend. And what this is a non-billable resource who's going to help you get the most out of your software when you go live and then when you start to grow as a company or change as a company. So we've got your back and we're looking out for you is kind of the key takeaway there. So now I've explained Crestwood, and I'm purposely explaining Crestwood that way because there's a lot when you consider a software and a solution that you're going to move to, migrate to, implement. There's all these activities that take place. The success truly comes from a partner that you can trust, who's transparent in their approach, and that you can count on to get the things done they say they'll do. And so as we talk about that partnership, then we say, okay, let's go select the software that's right for you. And so today we're talking about Acumatica because we have some big wins when it comes to Acumatica, and I'm excited to showcase them. So let's talk about comparing and selecting your software, and then the Acumatica platform that's actually built to help you grow. And so Acumatica at a foundation is going to be the platform, and you can kind of think of this as everything that it plugs into is it's going to help you streamline your workflows. And so when we think about the platform and really what this means to distribution, we look at what the Acumatica Distribution Edition actually covers. One of the biggest strengths of Acumatica is that it brings all of your core functions as a distributor into one connected operational system. So everything from inventory and warehouse management to procurement, sales, commerce, even financials, everything works together. This means no more swivel chairing between systems. It's really a no manual reentry and a know which systems have the right data kind of moment for you. So this is especially powerful for distributors because so much of your day depends on tight coordination, and what gets purchased impacts what's allocated. What gets shipped impacts what's invoiced. What gets transferred impacts what's available. And Acumatica can handle all of this in a single workflow, which provides real-time updates across your locations. So when you think about how do I start to reduce some of those profit leaks, we're going to really get into it here. Now, because it's all built on a very flexible platform, your mobile warehouse teams, your sales teams, your accounting teams, and your customer service reps are all looking at the same data, the same quantities, the same statuses, the same transactions. So decisions are getting made faster and with fewer errors in between. I just said it earlier this morning to my team. Manual work is one of the most timely and costly expenses, especially when they have errors involved. When your team has to go back and rework the manual work they've already done, you're just adding time and time to that manual process that's painful, and we get that. So as you think about Acumatica and what it can do for you, I also want to mention that one of the reasons distributors choose Acumatica is because it's easily connected with other systems you may already use, and it's without the expensive custom integrations, excuse me. And so whether you sell through, let's call it Shopify or BigCommerce or Amazon or B2B storefront, whether you rely on carriers like UPS, FedEx, Easy Post, I think is one, Ship Engine, whether you use Teams, HubSpot, Salesforce, Avalara, Procore, ADP, these are all softwares out in the world that a lot of individuals are using, and all of these integrations are already built with you with Acumatica. So you can kind of think of it as a nice plug and play solution. So for distributors who rely on EDI, this is critical because you have trading partners who all require their own formats and rules. So with Acumatica's open API and partner ecosystem, you're connecting your EDI workflows and they become straightforward and scalable for you. You can add new trading partners without having to redo your entire ERP, and Mo is going to actually speak to this section of our call today, so I'm excited for that. I like this slide because this tells you the story of typical distribution flow inside of Acumatica. I want to kind of dive into a few big areas for you here. What you're going to notice is how Acumatica connects every step of your supply chain. And so a PO, if you look there, a PO is a PO from a supplier, number one on this screen, automatically updates demand and replenishment for you. Then it's going to transfer between the warehouses, and that's going to happen with full traceability. Retail and e-commerce orders are going to feed directly into the same system, and your customers, whether they order online, through a sales rep, over the phone, it's all going to hit the same workflow. This means you can eliminate the disconnected decision-making that's causing stockouts, late shipments, missing SLAs, and EDI chargebacks, which is a huge win. Now, warehouse teams are going to move fast, so Acumatica gives them real-time KPIs and mobile tools designed for accuracy and speed. From here, we can talk about some of the most important warehouse capabilities distributors rely on. So for instance, when it comes to kitting and disassembly, build or breakdown kits on the fly, Acumatica tracks all component inventory automatically. When you're thinking about serial and lot tracking, trace inventory from purchase to shipment with full compliance and makes your life happy. When you're thinking about matrix items, it's perfect for items with size, color, style grids. There's no workarounds or item explosions here. It's also going to be embedded with WMS and barcoding. So you can pick, pack, ship, put away, transfer. It's all done through barcode scanning and any mobile device. Also, when you think about demand planning, forecasting and replenishment is going to sync directly to the warehouse tasks. And then connected shipping and EDI. Shipping updates are automatically triggering and the EDI documents and vice versa. So all of this ensures that you're getting the right product and then it goes out the door the first time. And I do like that you can do it from a phone. Now, when we talk about inventory is one of the biggest capital investments for distributors, and forecasting is where many profit leaks happen. Whether it's overstock tying up cash or it's stockouts causing lost revenue, Acumatica is going to give you the tools to optimize your stocking strategy. So you can plan replenishment weeks or months ahead based on real data. You can also use historical trends and seasonality or demand patterns. You can also automate your minimum or your maximum EOQ and also your on-demand driven replenishment. And then in addition to that, you can manage your supply across multiple warehouses with smart redistribution. Now, lastly, when it comes to purchase orders and requisitions, you can think of vendor bidding or approval workflows to keep costs in check. And so these tools will help distribute dramatically and reduce inventory carrying costs while protecting service levels. And then also, I want to mention Acumatica is going to handle the complexity of selling across multiple channels, whether it's wholesale, e-commerce, in-store POS, and inside sales teams. You'll be able to have an embedded CRM that gives your reps customer histories, open orders, quotes, credit status, all in one place. So from omni-channel distributors, Acumatica will support your B2B portals, direct-to-consumer storefronts, retail, POS, and so much more. Everything flows into the same inventory, pricing, promotions, and customer data, so your customers get consistent experience no matter how they buy. Now, as you think about a modern ERP, you also want to consider how it supports financial visibility and the speed that your business moves. So Acumatica is going to give controllers or finance professionals real-time insight across the entire financial engine. So when you think about your GL, AP, AR, your cash management in general, everything updates instantly, so you have transactions that are happening across the warehouse. And then also AI-powered AP automation, you're automatically going to capture code and route vendor invoices. Then think about how it's perfect for distributors with multiple entities or warehouse corporations. Also, when it comes to native payment management and fixed assets, there's no extra add-ons needed. And so this sort of closes the loop between operations and finance. And what happens in the warehouse will show up in your cash flow immediately. That's the power of a connected ERP. So what I want to do now is I want to take all of this. These are great insights, and I want to look at a 4-minute Acumatica distribution overview video to bring this all together, because I can speak to some of these pieces and these big wins, but sometimes visually going through a video and seeing an actual demo is what's most powerful. So let's get into that right now. We've got about 4 minutes. It's going to go very fast.
Acumatica Distribution Edition provides the best business management solution for digitally resilient companies. Built for mobile and tele-network scenarios and easily integrated with the collaborative tools of your choice, Acumatica delivers flexibility, efficiency, and continuity of operations to growing small and mid-market distributors. Digitally transform your business with a modern business management platform designed for wholesalers, distributors, and other inventory-centric businesses. Acumatica's Distribution Edition helps streamline sales and procurement, optimize inventory, automate warehouse operations, and connect to retail and e-commerce storefronts. Acumatica's built-in artificial intelligence and machine learning will automate the quote-to-cash and procure-to-pay cycles, so you'll have real-time financial insights at your fingertips. Acumatica provides a modern experience for every employee to manage daily activities with insights for the future. Acumatica's unlimited user licensing model facilitates collaboration for distribution, front office, and mobile employees to connect data and business processes across the organization. With role-based workspaces for warehouse and distribution center managers, shipping and receiving clerks, front office purchasing, retail and support employees, and mobile sales, service, and project staff in the field. Acumatica provides best-in-class functionality for wholesale distributors in varied industry segments, such as fashion and apparel, home goods and furnishings, recreational products like toys, hobbies, and sporting goods, consumer electronics and electrical products, health and beauty products, and other wholesale distribution or inventory-centric businesses. Acumatica Distribution Edition is a comprehensive ERP solution to manage your entire business with advanced supply chain features. Implement omni-channel strategies for sales, returns, and exchanges. Automate intercompany buy-sell transactions and digital orders with trading partners. Optimize inventory with robust item and warehouse management features such as barcode scanning and paperless wave or batch picking. Automate purchase order and vendor bidding processes for procurement and requisitions, and use powerful replenishment capabilities to track and manage stock. Distribution features seamlessly integrate with Acumatica Construction, Manufacturing, and Retail Editions. Manage every part of your business with best-in-class applications, including robust financials, native payroll, project accounting, service management, and connected quality control. Create role-based dashboards with key performance indicators and drill downs to live data for real-time analysis and actionable reports. Manage your business by exception so you can focus on strategic initiatives that drive growth. Transform your distribution business with tangible benefits for everyone. Boost sales with upsell and cross-sell features with item substitutions. Reduce costs by increasing inventory turns and eliminating dead stock that inflates carrying costs. Thrill customers with commerce storefronts and self-service portals. Streamline procurement to avoid stockouts, rush orders, and late shipments. And automate warehouse activities with native WMS for faster and more accurate order fulfillment. Acumatica's complete, connected, and mobile cloud ERP suite helps distributors transform their business on a future-proof platform built for rapid integrations, scalability, and superior ease of use.
All right, so I think you can see the true power of Acumatica. So now what I want to do is, as we move into talk about the Summit Brands overview part of this call, I want to ground what we talked about in sort of real world results here. So every distributor we work with comes to us with different mix of challenges: EDI complexity, disconnected systems, manual order entry, also unpredictable inventory, maybe slow month end, but the outcomes tend to fall into the same exact pattern. Once everything is connected and automated, the wins are significant. And so, for example, $200,000 reduction in IT spend is real because they no longer need to maintain multiple systems or custom integrations. When you think about those 700,000 orders that are processed in a single week, it's without adding any staff or burying teams in exceptions. 50% faster month-end close happens because operations and finance are finally connected. And the hours that are saved every week just from automating online order review and exception handling is huge. We're going to see more of that in just a little bit. And then millions are saved in inventory simply by improving forecasting and replenishment accuracy. And then 20% of time savings on average is what the warehouse operations can thank you to mobile scanning and automated kitting and just better workflows in general. And so what we did is we connected with Summit Brands, and what we realized is these aren't theoretical numbers. These are real customers like Summit Brands who's experiencing these numbers with real distribution complexity and real profit leaks that they had to address. We were able to help them modernize their operations using Acumatica, and they saw measurable impact immediately when we integrated it with SPS Commerce. And so when you remove the friction in your supply chain and you get systems working together instead of against each other, the results compound very quickly and they show up in a beautiful return of investment. So in this next video, I wanted to bring you into a recent conversation that we had with Tammy Mayer from Enterprise. She's the Enterprise Improvement Director with Summit Brands. We did sort of an interview with her roundtable style where we were asking her questions about her experience, and I want to share how they were able to, how they think about the project that was worked on, and give you some just insights, just sort of raw video cuts here to show you behind the scenes the conversation that we had. So I'm going to play this video. It's about 5, almost 6 minutes here, but it's full of really great information that I think are key insights into making your next decision with your software switch.
Tammy Mayer. I've been with Summit Brands for a little over 22 years. I've been with Acumatica since March of 23. I think we went on live with SPS October of last year, so just coming up on a full year. The integration that was written when we went live, it did really well on the inbound stuff, but our outbound stuff, we found out 6 months later, a lot of our invoices weren't getting where they needed to be. So our AR ballooned to the highest it's ever been. Like, it was out of control. It took us about 6 months to finally get all of that wrapped up again. So it was, at that point, we have customers that are irritated. I have an AR chief financial officer that is not happy. The executive team is ready to scream. So we needed a solution that was really not going to have those type of issues going forward. I mean, we have way too many updates and upgrades to have to go through on a regular basis, that we needed something that was not, I needed a partner that wasn't going to be one that was just going to leave me kind of hanging. That's why we started looking. It was all manual, pretty much. There was a few integrations that would run on imports, but they failed half the time. So we were doing most of it manual. So I know I was spending, at one point, I think it was 80 to 90 hours in tech support time per month managing that kind of stuff. It was basically, I could have hired another person. And then plus that on top of the hours I was spending in-house to manage that as well. So probably another half, 30 hours or something like that. We were looking for whatever was the most integrated with Acumatica, so that Acumatica is the one source. Like, we want to be in that system. We don't want to be bouncing out and managing outside pieces. If I could get my people to use one, dashboard that kind of, it mimics everything else that we're doing, that was really the core piece for me. And then being, budget wise, it had to be within a budget allowance that I wasn't going to take a huge hit. I think there's 3 integrations that are not out of the box with Mapadoc that we needed, that we are heavily dependent upon those for Amazon business and Lowe's. And then we needed it as well for our carrier invoices. We do 210 imports for all of our shipping documents as well. So Crestwood had to write all of the integration piece for that. Well, like I said, we were coming off a legacy install that went very, very badly. And we live and die by our customer service. So as soon as you start having things that fail, we're talking, the last thing you want is your Amazon or your Walmart orders to start failing or coming in or having to manually check through that stuff. So the fact that we run a nationally, everyone knows SPS Commerce, that's already it's like a sigh of relief when you talk to your vendors, like, oh, you're with SPS. Okay, that integration it's not as difficult to manage. When you talk, you have to get with somebody drew up this, working, and it's 2 weeks to even get on somebody's schedule. That's a whole different plan, where the SPS, again, it's just well known. They update all the back end. It's just been it's a selling point, I guess, when you have to set up a new trading partner. So that's been beneficial. So for us, it's the first time in the EDI world having a ERP and vendor support person and the ISV outside, that you guys are very in sync. It's not hard to get the two teams talking together. In the past, my experience has been I've got 2 different or 3 different tech companies that now I'm in this smack dab in the center trying to coordinate those conversations. And that has been a relief to me, is like, if it's something that needs to be done between them, they just take over and they can speak their speak and I don't have to try to translate. That's been helpful. They also just, I feel like they're pretty in sync. They work well together. We didn't have a lot of trouble with the build. The team just managed it, and then once it got ready, it just plugged it right in and away we were. So yeah, it's been great.
All right, so now that we've talked through Summit Brands, let's bring on Mo from SPS Commerce and let's get some further insights into that integration with EDI and some of the solution that we provided here for Summit Brands that cut so much of the work from their everyday process. So Mo, take it away.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be here with you all. Appreciate the time. So, Mo Demirci, I manage and lead the Acumatica practice here at SPS. I've been in the ecosystem for just a little over 5 years now, working very closely with Acumatica, the publisher, working with Crestwood team, and we have several joint clients, as you've heard from Summit Brands, from Tammy, a great success story, and it's not the only one, definitely, and it's not going to be the last one. But I wanted to really double click and follow up on what Stephanie walked us through, setting the foundation of Acumatica being the single source of truth, and also how that brings a ton of value to brands like Tammy, and how she walked us through her pain points. So let me just share my screen so I can get that going. So first, before I jump into the world of supply chain and EDI, I wanted to really talk about SPS, who we are and what we do, and how we think about supply chain as a whole. So SPS, we're a publicly traded company based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Been in the supply chain over 2 decades now, with 10 global offices, over 120,000 customers today, on variety of systems, variety of journey in their growth, from someone just starting with EDI all the way to Fortune 10 companies and CPG brands. The way we think about those type of clients, we really think of them in 3 different categories. And one or multiple of these categories can be you. So think of a retailer, grocer, distributor, the supplier or the manufacturer that provide these goods to the retailers to sell. And then a 3PL carriers, the companies that move goods from one or two of these warehouses or companies. And underneath each, there are certain of business challenges that SPS help address. And today we're really going to be talking about a couple of really major foundational business challenges that Tammy walked us through. And I believe it's a lot of you on the call have been through it or going through it as we speak. So one being EDI, which is not everyone's favorite topic to talk about, simply because the complexity that comes with EDI, and they call it's the standard, but honestly, the dirty little secret that no one talks about is the least standard out there. As if you've dealt with EDI, Walmart does EDI completely different than Target, completely different than Costco, and so on. So the way they communicate, the way they set their specification is really more tiered or geared towards solving their business problem. And you as a brand, you need to adhere to their specification. So that's what makes it complex. And a lot of systems, especially if you are on a legacy system or you're thinking of getting a new tech stack in place, you're going through digital transformation. These are very important pieces to think about. Is not only the foundation, something like Acumatica, born in the cloud, modular, that you have in a pre-built integration to EDI and so many others that Stephanie walked us through. So that all come into play when you are thinking about that. But really, your world is complex and you need to focus on your business, not make your system work on your customer needs, but you want your system to really work on your business needs, help you be the foundation for growth, accelerate, and not really hinder you or slow you down. So I always like to reference the COVID or the 2020, the pivotal moment where omni-channel became a huge player, and what companies that thrived at that point were able to pivot on the fly are the ones that have agile tech stack that they could build on and change on the fly. And the one that couldn't make it are the one that were on legacy system. Is challenging. It's some of the pain point that Tammy just shared with us on that brief interview we had. So really, you have to manage your suppliers. You have to manage your co-mans, your co-packers. You're selling on Marketplace. You're selling on eBay, on TikTok. You're selling to the Costco, the Target, and now you start drop shipping. You're selling on Costco.com, but I go and buy something on Costco's website. You as a brand, you're shipping that directly to me without even going through Costco. But when it comes to me, I have the packing slip says it came from Costco. I have the labels, everything. So how do you manage all that and how to get everything? So that's where really the complexity come into play. But if we look at where does it all start? So it's really data is the center of that continuous information exchange, and it has to be accurate, not siloed, but Acumatica, the single source of truth. It all starts with getting your item data on to your buyer, on their websites, on their marketplaces, with the attributes, color, sizes, SKUs, and so on. And then you'll be able to get that first order, where they send you order with their information, with their requirement, that comes into your system. We need to get that flowing automatically, and your warehouse people getting that information in your items the way you have it set up in your system, so they can manage, pick, pack, and ship that, and get the shipping and the tracking information back to the customer. Updating inventory, and then finally invoicing. Once shipment leave, Acumatica generate that invoice, SPS picks it up, transform that data, and send it directly to the customer. And then finally, you start getting into that phase where, okay, you want to optimize your inventory. You want to think before getting the order, you're preparing or anticipating what that order gonna come through, as you can get that point of sale data. How is item 1, 2, 3 selling in the Northeast region of the country? And when are you expecting the next, if inventory is running low at that retailer or that buyer, before they cut you a PO, you already start preparing your inventory and anticipating that order. So all that information continuously evolving, and we want to make sure that is not siloed and all syncing in your source of truth, Acumatica. So how we think about that and how we really differentiate ourselves and why we are successful in reducing the complexity of EDI and taking that off your plate is really with our two-step mapping, our SPS cloud network, where we consolidate all these order fulfillment models, all these different specification requirements from marketplace, from e-com, from retailer Costco to retailer Target to other buying organization, how they all do it with different requirement. We standardize that on the SPS network, and then we provide a single connection in Acumatica, natively built from the ground up, enhancing your ERP functionality, confirming to your internal processes, regardless of where that order coming from or what are the requirements. Your team will follow a simple process for every single one, and the technology there to help you to give them the superpower they need to make sure they are shipping in full, shipping on time, sending appropriate documentation, getting the right labels on the right pallets and the right box. So once we get all that established, there is still pain where if you are thinking about, well, this is the cost of doing business. I don't know why I'm getting hit with audit, or I don't know why I'm getting chargebacks. You're doing everything by the rule, you're playing by their rules, yet you're still hemorrhaging cash or invoices are not being paid on time. So that's where the revenue recovery piece comes into play, which is SPS newest offering, that because we have seen both end of the buying organization and the brands that supply to these buyers, SPS sits in the middle. We've came to find out that there is a huge gap in the marketplace. Those buyers are trying to scorecard their vendors who's shipping on time, how to incentivize them in their world. Chargebacks are a form of incentives to make sure they are following the rules and doing exactly what they are supposed to do. And for brand is, we're doing everything, technology in place, but we're still getting these chargebacks. So it really, if you look in the marketplace, a lot of deduction are silently eroding profit. We typically see 1 to 3% of supplier revenue or brands revenue lost each year. 2, most often, is recoverable deduction. And here's what's really frustrating. Most of it's recoverable. The challenge isn't really the deduction are valid or not, it's the visibility, the documentation, and the retailer complexity make them nearly impossible to manage it really manually. Again, to Tammy's point, how we remove that, I think at some point she mentioned 80 hours a week or a month on tech support and manual processes. So if you're experiencing any of these revenue recovery challenges, I think what we have coming next year in the couple slides, it's going to really resonate with you and your team, and would love to connect and go deeper in specifics. So really, running a modern supply chain, meaning managing a maze of retailer rules, timelines, systems, and really, like we said, every partner from carrier to 3PL, they each have their own requirement. And those requirements are changing constantly because they have to adapt with the pressure in the market and things that impacting their business. So even the most organized teams really can't keep up. And that's where deduction starts stacking up. And suddenly your best people are spending their days chasing down paperwork instead of driving growth. So all that complexity add up to real cost. You get unexpected revenue loss that's impossible to trace quickly, strained customer relationship, disjointed processes, and recovery that takes months. And these aren't operational headaches. They are symptoms of system built on visibility gaps. Most brands assume this is just a part of doing business. And that's the sad part, really, is oftentimes we talk to prospect, to customers, and that's the common theme that we hear is, this is the cost of working with Costco, this is the cost of working with any of these major retailers. Well, is it? So it gotta be a better way. So when teams treat deduction as inevitable, they end up writing off millions in recoverable dollars. In fact, about 70% of disputable deductions go untouched. That lost revenue become retailers' gain, or as pretty sure a lot of you have heard, as profit center for those retailers. Meanwhile, teams burn time, confidence, forecasting becomes rolling a dice or a guesswork. Margins erode quietly over time. Deduction aren't the cost of doing business. They are recoverable revenue stream waiting to be unlocked. So, and that's where SPS really comes in, revenue recovery, combines recovery expert with powerful automation. We offer both hands-on managed recovery and intelligent self-serve tool, all under one trusted brand. No matter how your team prefers to operate, you can recover more, faster, with full visibility. So, with over 1 billion recovered for 600 plus suppliers or brands, we've proven that recovery doesn't have to be painful or slow. SPS Revenue Recovery automate the dispute management process, surface real-time insight, and prevent future fines before they happen, all with little to no IT lift. You'll see measurable results in days, not months, backed by years of retail and supply chain expertise. So if you think about your current process, I'm pretty sure we can easily identify some bottlenecks if it's documentation, disputes, prevention, or simply we just don't know what the root cause is. So how does this all work? So we start by connecting all raw scattered data across your supply chain, invoice, shipping documents, retailer portals like Amazon, Walmart, and Target. Our platform automatically ingests that information. So instead of you chasing files across carrier or folders, you have single connected source of truth. Next, you can decide what do you want to manage, how you want to manage recovery. So at that point, we have two different options. Full service recovery, so our SPS expert handle everything on your behalf end to end, from documentation to dispute to follow up. Or with dedicated support, your team leads the process using our platform with expert there to guide you along the way. Both options deliver the same outcome: faster recovery, better visibility, and less internal lift. Finally, every recovery is backed by our industry experts. Our revenue recovery team doesn't just help you dispute deduction, they identify root causes and share retailer best practices and uncover trend to prevent future fines. So everything we've talked about comes together here: clarity, automation, flexibility, and expertise, all working towards one goal: helping you get your money back and strengthen your long-term retailer relationship. This isn't just about recovering lost dollar. It's about building smarter, more resilient operation. Now, we're really excited in partnership with Crestwood to offer a risk-free audit. Really, the best way to see that impact is to start with that audit. We'll analyze your current deduction data, identify what's recoverable, and show you exactly how much revenue is sitting on the table. And if you are thinking or saying that, well, I have the team that's really good, well-versed on doing that, that's great. Let's give them superpower. Let's help them reduce that process, show them how they can be more efficient, or simply just see what's their close rate if you have not identified that. So getting started is really simple. With us, we do the heavy lifting, where we connect your data first with a frictionless approach. We'll perform a free audit to see what your recovery potential look like. And finally, we get you set up with a solution that's right for you and your team. We've designed the whole process to be painless as possible while getting you the results fast. And with that, I thank you for the time. Stephanie, I'll kick back to you.
You got it. Thanks, Mo. Yeah, it's interesting to see just how big of savings. Not only can you save in things like chargebacks, which is huge, but then also just the sheer changes that you see specifically with the introduction of just automation and reduction of manual entries, right? And so as Tammy was talking about how much time they saved an entire role's salary worth just by integrating a solution and streamlining it. So very impressive. All right. So as we wrap things up here today, just a couple key takeaways from our session today. Number one is the first step of ERP implementation is select the right partner. 80% of ERP failures happen usually due to a partner. Some sort of miscommunication, disconnect in the solution setup. And so what I want to do is challenge you to audit your partner. So here's a partner selection checklist to help you find the right person for your implementation. Hopefully you'll find that to be Crestwood, and I invite you, to reach out to us and we can have that conversation. But second, Acumatica is a solid fit. It's designed for distributors. And so I really want to help you understand the true potential here. There's an ROI guide on here that you can download and can help with your planning and your budgeting. Highly recommend using that and using it to assess and build your budget for the decisions you're going to make and your next steps. It's quite eye-opening once you get into it. And then lastly, integrations like SPS Commerce, they provide real results. These are real clients with real results, saving a lot of revenue, bringing back a lot of automation and processes, just making sure that they're creating efficiencies in their business. And it's not every day that you go home and say, hey, I created efficiency in my processes, and your family's not going to understand that. But at work, we understand that, and professionally, we understand what it's like to live in a friction-free environment where things are automated and they're flowing as they should. So I hope you'll take advantage of these couple of resources. Also, we'll provide in the follow-up emails Mo's audit to elect into doing an audit. That's totally free, no matter if you're on Acumatica or SPS or not. And so we'll get that to you and we'll help you assess that. Now, just for fun of things today, SPS Commerce provided us with two $50 gift cards. We're giving away $100 in Visa gift cards. And so we have two registrants for today who have won this. One is Randy B. and Joe B. The last names are held private just for privacy purposes, but we will be reaching out to you to let you know about your gift card. And so thanks for registering and attending today. Now, lastly, thank you so much for joining. It's my hope that you've gained a few helpful insights or tips to help you further along in your decision journey. So I would be thrilled to see you reach out and include Crestwood in your decision making or your next steps. Please feel free to connect with us at any time or connect with Mo if you have more EDI questions. And visit crestwood.com for more webinars, tutorials, expert advice, or to stay connected with us. Feel free to send me a message on LinkedIn. So Mo, thank you very much for all the work that you did with Summit Brands and all the clients that we do work together. And then also just in general for attending today's session and providing some giveaway Visa cards. Appreciate it. And everybody have a great afternoon. We'll be available if you have any questions. Thank you all.
Thank you all.